Dr. O'Hara stopped by the studio.
The community came out for Fire Prevention Day.
Rocked the socks at the high school.
And Kicks for Cancer was very cool.
All this and more
Up next on Eagle Watch.
Hello Hop and welcome back to another great season of Eagle Watch. Alongside Jackie Morris, I'm Alex Ortiz.
Hey Alex, did you hear about the great news?
News about what?
The new superintendent, Dr. O'Hara.
Of course I did. I had a chance to sit down with him in the studio to learn a little bit more about him. Hello Hop. Today we welcome Dr. Dennis O'Hara, the new superintendent of Hop School District, to our studio. Dr. O'Hara, thank you for being here and giving us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you.
Alex, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
We're going to start with some questions. So how did you get started working in the field of education?
Well, it goes back a long time, Alex. I'm just about finishing my 25th year in education. I'm the oldest of 4 children in my family. I had younger siblings, and as a teenager, I just enjoyed coaching my younger brother and younger sisters and volunteering with younger children, and it seemed like a natural thing for me to do.
Oh, all right. So during what point in your career did you decide that you wanted to lead a school as a superintendent?
It's an interesting question. It didn't happen right away. Initially, my goal was to become a science teacher, and mostly I wanted to help students understand that although science content might seem difficult, really that anybody who wants to can learn the content. So my goal initially was to be a classroom teacher. I was very interested in coaching athletics. I coached wrestling and track and field for a short time. But I would say after a couple of years into teaching, I just kept watching the high school principal, and I admired the work that she did, and I thought maybe one day I could become a principal. And eventually that happened. I was a principal of a high school for 13 years. And as I evolved and grew in that role, I began to realize that I'm very fortunate. I could have a very big impact on the lives of students, on their education, on their happiness. And it occurred to me that if I kept working harder and became a superintendent one day, that I could have the opportunity to influence the culture of an entire community and school district.
As a superintendent, can you describe what your responsibilities are?
Sure. You know, if you read a school law book, they describe the superintendent as the CEO of the school district. So some could say that I'm like the CEO of a $108 million corporation.
Wow.
But really the job is to, number one, make sure that our buildings are running safely and that the students are taken care of. Second, it's to make sure that we provide the best education we can for all the students. And I jokingly describe it sometimes as saying it's a very responsible position, because if something goes wrong, I become responsible. But my favorite description came from students in one of the elementary schools last week. He raised his hand and asked if I was the president of the school district.
Oh, that's great. So based off that, what is the most challenging part about being a superintendent?
For me, personally, the biggest change from what I used to do to what I do now is as the assistant principal many years back, I was an assistant principal in Hop High School. And in that role and in my role as the principal of another high school, I knew all of our students and I knew their families and they knew me. So it's been strange for me to visit schools in the Hop School District over the last 2.5 weeks and see students' faces that I don't recognize. And I feel a little bit like a stranger in your schools. But over time, I've been getting to know more and more students, and now students are beginning to say hello to me, so I'm starting to feel very much at home. So the initial personal challenge is just, it's peculiar that I didn't recognize people. But the other challenges are, I think, balancing students' individual needs with the needs of the whole group. And sometimes it's upsetting when I speak with a parent or a student that has a particular need, and I do want to satisfy that need, but we can't do what every individual prefers, because then it would negatively impact the whole group. So sometimes I find that balance to be difficult.
So what is the most rewarding part about being a superintendent?
Oh gosh, you know what, Alex, I received 3 emails today from teachers. One of the teachers wrote me an email on behalf of her first grade class, And she thanked me for the challenge I issued to the students, which was to increase their reading stamina. And she sent me a photo of their bar graph and indicated in her email that they had reached their goal of reading for 30 minutes straight. And they're setting a new goal of 40 minutes, and she thanked me for the visit. Another teacher sent me an email this morning telling me that she loves the Twitter feed and has learned more from the Twitter feed in recent weeks than she has in several years, and she's been re-energized. So the rewarding part is that I have the ability to treat people, to be kind, but to have expectations that hopefully will elevate people's performance and in the long run be able to positively influence the culture of our school district and just make it a better environment where all of our students can be successful.
That's awesome. So are there any new ideas that you would like to implement into our schools?
Yeah, I have several, but one of the biggest ones for this year that we're going to work on is this concept known as growth mindset. So I've taken the liberty of purchasing for all of our teachers and administrators in the district a book known as Mindset. And the premise of the book is that there are two types of mindsets that people may have, and one is known as a fixed mindset. And people in that group believe that you have, you're born with a certain amount of intelligence and that won't change over your lifetime. But people who have a growth mindset believe that you can always improve your intelligence, always improve your skills, always improve your abilities. It just requires effective effort and a persistent effort. It requires a person to be committed, to persevere, and to be gritty. And I'm excited to bring that concept to our elementary schools and our middle school and our high school and our entire faculty.
That's awesome. So thank you, Dr. O'Hara. Now we're going to get into more personal questions, and we're going to do a segment we like to call Getting to Know You. So what was your favorite subject in high school?
The sciences were my favorite. I had an affinity for biology, life science.
What is your number one hobby?
Oof. I would say I have, well, my number one hobby is my four sons and being present for their different activities and sporting events, and things of that nature. But things that I like to do on my own, I'm an avid mountain biker. As a matter of fact, I'm riding my bicycle home today from school.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still a lifeguard at Jones Beach. So in the summertime, on weekends, I spend most of my Saturdays and Sundays lifeguarding. And I would say my third hobby is country music. I go to as many country music concerts as I can get to.
So what is your favorite professional sports team?
Oh, that's an easy question. For me, it's the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a football fan, and when I was 6 years old, I played Little League football, and the team they put me on was the Vikings. So ever since then, I've been a fan.
Oh. So what is your favorite band or musician?
I don't have one favorite band, but I like anything country.
What is your favorite season?
Definitely summer.
So if you could sit down and have dinner with anybody in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I think my choice on that would be my grandfather. This gentleman passed away when I was 9 years old, so it's just about 40 years since I last had an opportunity to spend time with him. But in a short time, he had a big impact on my life, and I would love the ability or the opportunity to catch up with him and fill him in on how much his role modeling and his thinking influenced me, and let him know about a lot of the things that have happened in my life.
Dr. O'Hara, thank you so much for stopping by here and taking the time out of your busy schedule here, as we wish you the best of luck here at Hauppauge.
Alex, it's really been my pleasure to meet you and to be on Eagle Watch. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem.
Wow, he seems like a really great man.
I hope he thrives at his new position. Did you happen to check out the new turf field?
Yeah, I actually attended the first football game of the season, where I covered the story of Rock the Sox. Hi, I'm Jackie Morris here at Hauppauge's first varsity football game and Rock the Sox Foundation. Let's go check it out. Can you describe the event that is taking place here today?
Sure. This is a great event that Coach Cardillo has put together for somebody who played here back in the 90s, Coach?
98 graduate.
1998. His daughter was born with an affliction that Coach Cardillo can speak to.
Yeah, so as Coach said, Mackenzie Cadmus was born with a disease called epidermolysis bullosa. It only afflicts 6 kids out of every million, so we thought that one of the best ways to help raise awareness was trying to get the Hauppauge community involved. And Coach Smelda, we were lucky enough that he blessed this event. And one of the big things is he wants to bring back former players to be part of the program, and what better way to do it than to try to raise awareness for someone's daughter that has a rare disease.
It's a football game. It's a charity event for a girl who has a skin problem. She's 6 months old. We're trying to raise money for her.
I then got to speak to Mackenzie's father about the event. Can you tell us a little about the disease?
Sure. The disease is called epidermolysis bullosa, also known as EB. Children with EB are called butterfly kids because their skin is as fragile as a butterfly.
So how did you come up with the idea of Rock the Socks?
Okay. So Rock the Socks started when Mackenzie was in the hospital. The first 70 days of her life, she was in the hospital. We were dealing with wound care. It was our first little girl. My wife had gone out and bought her all these little cute little dresses and everything. But, children with EB have to wear special types of clothes. So all the seams have to be on the outside, tags have to be on the outside. There could be no buttons, no zippers. So none of those dresses she could wear. So we started doing bandages, and what she would do is she would take the bandage and she'd rub, and because of the friction, she started getting blisters on her face. So we came up with something to put socks over her bandages, and they were softer, and they basically prevented some of the blisters from occurring. When the nurses walked in, they would say, "Oh, rock those socks, girl."
How do you feel being a part of this event?
So enthusiastic. I feel great for for raising money for this poor little girl.
It's amazing to help her out, and
we're so happy because what she has is really bad.
It's a good cause, and I'm happy to be here.
So lastly, how does wearing the socks spread the awareness for this disease?
So Rock the Socks basically represents not just Mackenzie, but all kids with EB. So anytime someone posts a picture on the website, on Mackenzie's Facebook page, on their Facebook page, rocking their socks, showing their love, all their followers also see that.
The community came together to raise money and awareness for EB by rocking their socks. Finishing the night off with a victory, it was a success. Signing off for Eagle Watch, I'm Jackie Morris.
15 years ago, people all around the world were affected by the tragedies on September 11, 2001. The Hauppauge Fire Department held a memorial to remember the lives that were lost. I was there for this touching event.
Hello, Hauppauge. I'm Alex Ortiz, and today we are here at Hauppauge's annual 9/11 Memorial.
September 11th, 2001 is a day that we will never forget, and Hauppauge Fire Department paid tribute to those fallen heroes. Attending the ceremony was Senator Tom Croce, and we spoke with Senator Croce and firefighters about this day.
We're honoring the people we lost, certainly, on September 11, 2001 during those attacks, but also the first responders who survived, who are here to tell the story, who keep these memorials and these tributes alive in our communities, and they should be commended for that. And we're also honoring the memories of the men and women of the armed forces who went overseas to ensure that these kinds of attacks don't happen again.
I'm honoring the 343 FDNY firefighters who died today on Ground Zero.
We're honoring everybody. We're honoring those lost at the Pentagon, at the World Trade Center in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. We're honoring the brave men and women that made sacrifices that day. We're honoring our servicemen and women that are serving overseas.
Ray Meisenheimer and Peter Brennan.
Today we honor 4 of our members, 2 that died on 9/11, Chief Peter Brennan, Chief Raymond Meisenheimer. Mike Tuffarella and Jack Howe have passed since due to 9/11 related injuries and illness.
What 9/11 memorabilia is in the memorial?
We have 2 pieces of steel from the World Trade Center, and we also have a piece of shale stone from Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and a piece of limestone from the Pentagon.
I know they have a piece of steel from the Twin Towers, a piece of marble from the Pentagon, and a rock from Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
How did 9/11 impact the Hauppauge community and the Hauppauge Fire Department?
I believe that that tragedy brought us all closer. We all worked well with each other, and guys came through in a time of need.
The events of September 11th was a huge impact on Hauppauge, just simply because it affected so many here, as far as volunteers, people who went to work every day in the city, going about their daily lives, people that lived in Hauppauge and commuted every day. We lost many people from Hauppauge, not just firemen, police officers, but civilians who were there doing their jobs, and it was a big effect on our community.
"9/11 is a day that our nation will never forget." Reporting for Eagle Watch, I'm Alex Ortiz.
Hey Jackie, do you know what to do if there is a fire?
Stop, drop, and roll?
Well, yes, Jackie, but there's more safety precautions you should know about. Tyler went down to the Hauppauge Fire Department where the Hauppauge community came together to learn a little bit more about fire prevention.
Hi, today I'm at the Hauppauge Fire Department checking out this year's annual Fire Prevention Day. Let's see what it's all about. Tell us about Fire Prevention Day.
Fire Prevention Sunday is a day throughout Long Island where fire departments invite the public in to teach them about fire safety and fire prevention. We have several different exhibits where we teach the community about what we do and how they can be safe in their homes.
How does the fire department prepare for a day like this?
Fire Prevention Sunday, we prepare, it's pretty much a year-long preparation period. Based on the prior year's Fire Prevention Sunday, we have several stations that are out there to educate the general public. And basically, if the general public likes the station from the previous year, we keep it. If they don't, we try and change it.
What are you guys doing here today?
We're doing the smokehouse.
It's to pretty much showing kids that not to be afraid of fire, not to be afraid of us when they see us. To show us that we're friendly, we're very community oriented, and just to have fun pretty much with us.
What is your favorite part of Fire Prevention Day?
Watching them doing the burn demo with the building.
What's your favorite part of Fire Prevention Day?
I love it that we have the open house, that we invite the community to see what the firehouse is all about. They can come here and learn about things, whether it be showing how a fire starts or how a car accident, what we do in case of a car accident.
What did you learn here today?
Well, when I was in the smokehouse, I learned that you call the fire department, and then you have to stop and drop, and then you have to crawl out safely to an opening.
I think the takeaways here are two. One is that your fire department is well trained and well equipped to deal with the accidents we respond to here in Hauppauge. And the second takeaway is for people to realize that it doesn't take much, a small distraction to cause an accident, and it can be, unfortunately, fatal at some time. So make sure you're paying attention, you're not distracted, you're not playing with your cell phones, and you're traveling at a safe speed. And always remember to wear your seatbelt when you're in your vehicles.
Educate themselves in fire safety. We want them to know the dangers of fire and the damage that fire can do. So we hope that they leave here today having a better understanding.
Wow, that was hot. Glad I was here to put out the story. I'm Tyler Garnett, reporting for Eagle Watch.
Wow, great story, Tyler.
You know, Jackie, another great story you did was the one about Angela's house.
Thanks, Alex. Angela's House Walk took place a few weeks ago, and I was there to check it out. Hi, I'm here at the second annual Angela's House where we're raising money for children with terminal diseases. Let's go check it out. What is Angela's House?
Angela's House is a nonprofit that we started 25 years ago. It works with children that are chronically ill, medically fragile, kids with life-threatening illnesses.
How does it feel to be a part of this event?
It's very rewarding. I love working with people. It's just very fun and yeah.
Seeing all this support for something so important is just awesome that the entire community comes together to help out, and it's just such a great feeling being a part of it.
How did Angela's House start?
27 years ago, my wife and I were having our second child, and we were faced with the horrific and tragic, heart-wrenching scenario of having a daughter where everything went wrong at birth. She was left very, very frail. Unfortunately, there was no way to ever have her recoup from the kind of like the disaster at birth. We tried every therapy in the world, every effort in the world to try to help her out, but it didn't work.
What's your favorite part of today?
We're gonna hand out food in a little while, so it'd be nice to participate in that and just to see everyone around.
Yeah, well, I was looking forward to being able to hand out food to everybody, so it'll be pretty cool.
My favorite part is probably seeing so many people here from all different communities all come here at the same time and place just for this one cause.
I have to agree with Brian. It's just, in a world like today where everything's split up, it's just great seeing everybody together.
I love talking to people and try to help as much as I can.
How much planning goes into these events?
Well, this particular walk, it takes months in order to get all the little things that you put into it to make sure that you get everything taken care of. The more organized you are, the more of a positive experience that people coming will have.
After a successful event and a lot of money raised for Angela's House, I'm Jackie Morris, closing out for Eagle Watch.
Wow, Angela's House seems pretty amazing.
It truly is, but now it's time for Question of the Month.
Matt went around the school to see what was the highlight of everyone's summer.
Hi, I'm Matt Robbins. The highlight of my summer was working and playing varsity football. We ran around Hotbog finding out the best parts of everyone's summer. What was the highlight of your summer?
The highlight of my summer was making $5,000 in 2 months at my job.
Playing football and getting to know Schmella and Druck and good guys. Shout out to Schmella and Druck, B.
I went on a missions trip to Saskatchewan, Canada.
Hanging out with my friends.
The highlight of my summer was coming in July and August to this wonderful building to write curriculum with other teachers in the beautiful air-conditioned facilities.
Probably just worked a lot of hours, like 7 hours a day, like 6 days a week at CVS on Terry.
I went to South Carolina. Working.
The highlight of my summer was going on vacation, going on the beach,
Playing baseball with my friends.
The highlight of my summer was probably going to Florida. It was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it very much.
Highlight of my summer was sailing around the world.
The highlight of my summer was driving around with my friends and playing baseball.
My wife and I took a much long-awaited trip to Costa Rica.
Just doing film programs during the summer and having a lot of fun.
Playing with my band, doing some shows. It was fun.
A lot of people in the Hotbog community had a fun-filled summer. Signing off for Eagle Watch, I'm Matt Robbins.
Well, my summer was...
Alex, we don't have time to talk about how your summer was. We're back at school.
All right, speaking of back to school, parents came down for the annual back to school night. Joe has more.
It's open school night. Let's see how the parents are navigating the halls of Hotbog High School. Open school night gives parents an opportunity to walk their child's schedule and meet their parents. We ask parents what it's like walking their students' schedules.
Short the classes, so I'm sure it's a little more grueling for the students sitting through some of those classes. But just going around the the different staircases trying to find the class is tough first time. But we're doing it.
Boy, I had to come down here and rest. It was hard because you don't have a chance to get to all the classes, and one so far away, you don't know where you're going, everybody's bumping into you, there's bags, and these women have big bags tonight, so they've been knocking me over, so we took a break.
It is confusing. I've been getting lost a little bit, and yeah, it's just a little, trying to find the classes in that 5 minutes is kind of hard.
We next asked parents if they could take any class in their child's schedule. What would it be?
I think I'll take French. As you can hear my accent, I'm French. Bonjour ou bonsoir.
Earth science. The earth science, I wanted to stay there and I wanted to take it all day long. That was awesome.
Finance class. What's it called? Careers in finance. It seems very good for when you're going to college and getting a job and doing that.
Afterwards, we asked parents how school has changed since they were a student.
It really hasn't, except for the bell. I used to have a very loud bell. This is a buzz. That's about it. Still the same, switching classes, same kids and teachers learning.
Wow, you guys have so much stuff, like the art gallery. I didn't get to go in there, but you have an art gallery and your auditorium and just all of the technology, all of the, just, it's changed a lot. Just the technology, I would say.
I went to an all-boys school, so these are girls here too, so it's a little different for me. And some of the courses here are really much different than I was ever offered, so really pretty good. So very enjoyable.
Well, there you have it. It's another open school night at Hauppauge High School. Although a few parents got lost, everyone seemed to make it out. Reporting for Eagle Watch, it's Shijo Thomas.
Hey Jackie, did you hear that we have a new guidance counselor?
Yes, I did. Jacob and Jobin went down to the guidance office to find out more about Mrs. Bartlett.
Today we are catching up with the new guidance counselor, Mrs. Bartlett, here in Hauppauge High School. Let's check it out. Can you describe to us how you got started working in the field of education?
So I initially went to college for business, and after graduating, I worked in Manhattan at a public relations company for 4 years, and I was really unhappy and just really not satisfied in that field, so I went back to school for school counseling, and I went to Northeastern University in Boston, and that's where I got my master's degree. From there, I started working at a school in Queens, and that's where I was for the last 5 years, and now I'm here at Hauppauge.
What are your responsibilities as a guidance counselor?
My responsibilities are really varied. Of course, it's working with students on academic planning, monitoring their progress towards graduation, and probably most importantly, preparing them for college.
What is the most challenging part of being a guidance counselor?
That's tough. I would say that, every day is really different. So it's hard to really plan out exactly what your day is going to be like because there are always different things that pop up. But I also really like that about the job because it makes it interesting and certainly makes the day go by really quickly. So it's great.
What's the most rewarding part of being a guidance counselor?
I would say the most rewarding part is really being able to help students. I like helping them set goals and helping them work towards those goals, especially with the college process. It's really fun helping them pick where they're going to go once they leave high school.
How do you like it here in Hauppauge?
I love it here. Everyone's been so nice to me and so friendly. Everyone from the students to the other teachers and to the parents, I've felt very welcome from my first day.
What was your favorite subject in high school?
My favorite subject in high school was American history.
And lastly, what is your number one hobby?
My number one hobby is going to the beach. I love it. That's why I live on Long Island. Sadly, that will be coming to an end now that the weather's getting colder, but that's my favorite thing to do.
Thank you. Wishing Mrs. Bartlett many more great years here at Hauppauge High School. Reporting for Eagle Watch, I'm Jacob Hug.
Even though it was raining, the Hauppauge community was shining when they came together for the annual Kicks for Cancer event. Vinny has more.
I'm here at this year's annual Kicks for Cancer charity event hosted by the Hauppauge girls varsity soccer team. This event was started 9 years ago in memory of Courtney Tompkin, who had passed from brain cancer. Each year, people all over Hauppauge come together to raise awareness for a great cause. I caught up with Alexis Gonzalez, who started this whole thing.
How did you come about starting this event? Courtney and I were very close, and I really wanted to do something to show everyone how much of an amazing person she was, and I knew that the first person that would help me to, put that out there would be Coach Jessica Kalesa, and then me and her put our heads together and we came up with Kicks for Cancer.
What does it mean to you to coach this kind of game?
Being on the sideline for this game, it's pretty amazing. We were talking yesterday as a team as some of our favorite things about Kicks for Cancer, and mine for sure is right before our game starts, everything's kind of settled down, and we finally get a minute to breathe, and I look up and to see everything that's out there and to see all the people around, it's a truly amazing feeling.
What does it mean to you to play in a game like this?
It feels great to be able to play for such a great cause.
I mean, I just like looking up at the fans and just seeing that we created all of this and all of it's going to a really good cause.
What's your favorite part about this event?
When we're stepping on the field and you just look up all around you and see so many people come together for such a great cause.
I just like seeing the looks on people's faces when they all see it actually come together and they realize that all this work is really going to something that deserves it.
What made you come to this event today?
The rain, most definitely the rain. I love rain. No, in all honesty, Kicks for Cancer is one of those events that everybody looks forward to every year. It's a wonderful cause, wonderful community event, and it's really something to see the pink throughout the hallways all week long leading up to this event. It's really something special.
In addition to everything Mr. Collins said, C-A-U-L-I-N, it also honors one of the greatest students we've had, Courtney Tompkins. She represented so much of what we want Hop Hog to be, and some of the work Mrs. Kalesa has put into this is also representative of so many things people do here.
The rain did not stop the community from getting together for this year's Kicks for Cancer event. This event was filled with community spirit, fun events, and great soccer. During the event, we remember Courtney Tompkins and how special she was to our school. Reporting for Eagle Watch, I'm Benny Vista.
Go Hawks! Go Eagles! We love Kicks for Cancer!
Well, that's going to do it for us this time, Hop Hog. From all of us at Eagle Watch, I'm Alex Ortiz.
And I'm Jackie Morris. Thanks for stopping by. And don't forget to check out our new show next month.
Stay classy, Hop Hog.
Put it back, put it back. Oh, that's beautiful. Was afflicted. And don't forget to check back for one and all. Did I say that?
Well, yes, Jackie. Yes, Jackie. Yes, Jackie.
Oh, that's beautiful.